Good morning, welcome to a Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday, the 5th of October. Starting with the euro dollar, and well, we've seen a lot of chop and roll, as they say, um, pop pickers. Looking at what's going on here on this dailies, it really hasn't come out of or made any significant trend on this. You can see on the 4 hours, so it's become quite range bound here. The daily 8 is really slowing things up. Yesterday again, as it ran into that daily 8, came short of some targets that you might have thought of, or I thought might have thought they'd gone up to, but very difficult at the moment. It may be it's still got some legs in it. It's not being sold off, but it's not being bought either in significant quantity to create the move up there. So for this morning, I'm just sort of looking at this, and if it was to break back above the highs there and give me an entry at that 6 o'clock high, maybe would be looking for another test towards yesterday's highs, the eventually getting up towards that 6,200. But it's very slow at the moment, very choppy market. It's certainly not a clear direction where it's going. So um, I think. Likewise, I guess if it starts breaking down, we could be going for uh, the previous days, yesterday's lows, and well, actually right down towards that S1 area, maybe more. It's a very tight range. It's even in now the pivot's quite pinched. Certainly not got a lot of clarity there. Well, there isn't a lot of clarity, I should say. The pound, well, still rumours of the PM being overthrown and by our cabinet ministers, and it's not helped the pound at all. The conference is now finished, and well, the pound is left adrift, and it's really just following trend here. Again, though, when you look at the 4 hours, the range of what we're seeing is relatively small. Um, it's almost flat lining on this hourly chart. Daily pivot yet to be touched. Maybe we'll see a push up to that. Whether it will get much further, I'm not so sure. The way this has been working on this sort of hourly um, chart at the moment, it's difficult to see which way it's going to actually go. The only one thing I'd say is the bigger trend is to the downside, and I think if it was to get into any sort of half decent rallies, I'd be looking for shorting it. Dollar yen. We discussed the dollar yen in detail yesterday. We looked at there was a divergence last week, and it's not really done too much from that divergence, which to me just suggests that it's maybe got some legs for some further upside here. Um, and you look at the 4 hourly again, you can see the choppiness of this move, and maybe it has more intraday movement, but it's still pretty choppy. And this hourly chart, just periods of slow chop and then a bit of price action and then slow chop. So not an easy one to pick for me at the moment. As you can tell, I'm not enamored by these markets at the moment. They're just not making things easy. Aussie dollar, well, there's some retail sales were poor. Trade balance was okay, but retail sales were poor last through the Asian session there. We're seeing a bit of a sell-off this morning. But again, it's another one of these markets. It's in a downward drift, and that's the best way to be trading this one, I think. Certainly, if you are trading it, but the opportunities are slim. I mean, it's sat for most of the yesterday chopping. It may do similarish today, but there may be opportunities to sell into any strength, short-term strength on it. Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar's flatlining now, which will frustrate two of our traders in our trading room at least. One's long, one's short. If one of them would only close his position, maybe we'll get some direction. So looking at what we've got here, well, again, as I say, a bit of a flat line. This just isn't a decisive move either way. Looked relatively bullish at one stage. It pop this over a couple of days of downward movement. It's literally flatlining again here. Um, Difficulty to break through that 60-minute 50 may suggest it's weak, but it hasn't really sold off too much in that time either. So looking for a move to give us some guidance to direction. Okay, pretty much it today. News-wise, there's not a lot out today. This morning we've got say this morning, this afternoon at 12:30 British summertime still. We've got the ECB monetary policy minutes out. Thereafter, trade balance, Canadian trade balance, not much of a mover. US dollar weekly employment numbers, not much of a mover. Got a couple of speakers, 10 past 2 and 3 o'clock. We've got two FOMC speakers, which could create a bit of volatility, with some factory orders coming in at 3 o'clock there as well. But and then some MPC speakers at 5 and 6 this evening. So that's the Bank of England speakers. The founders, but they're talking about such peripheral sort of data. I don't see any action from the last two at least. Maybe the FOMC speakers may give us a bit more of a clue of their thoughts, but that's pretty much it for the day. So have a great one, and let's look forward to non-farm payrolls tomorrow then. Bye for now.